Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and I have a recipe to share with you today. We're going to be making some stuffed eggs, and there's a slight twist on how I'm going to make these. So I've got this beautiful little egg tray here. I picked it up from Target recently. It's super beautiful, and this is what's inspiring today's recipe. So I'm using my pasture-raised eggs, and I'm just going to do 6 of them so that there are enough eggs to fit each of those little slots. So I'm going to be steaming them for about 8 minutes, but I put them in for 7 minutes first, and then we're going to let them just rest for a minute in the hot water. In the meantime, I'm going to head outside my backyard. I've got a couple of things that I'm going to use as garnish. I've got some cilantro flowers. I also have some sweet pea flowers that are just looking super beautiful, so I'm going to pick some of these. And I also have some fennel. And so I'm just going to take some of the greens off the top, and we're going to be using these all as garnishes for our stuffed eggs. So I'm going to wash those and put them aside. They do change the flavor a little bit, but we didn't eat the flowers, just the fennel. So at about 7 minutes, I'm going to add another minute to my timer, but I'm going to turn off the eggs. But I'm going to leave them in the hot water for another minute, and that's going to allow them to cook through just a little bit more. They are still going to be soft-centered, so if you want them to be a little bit more firm, then you'll need to steam them for another minute to 2 minutes. But I didn't want them to be overcooked, so I did them a little bit on the undercooked side, which means that our filling is going to be nice and smooth. So we're not going to use any special equipment in order to make these, so I'm just using a spoon in order to peel our eggs, and you can see that they're nice and soft. And once all the shells are off, then we can remove them and cut them in half. I'm using my ulu to cut them in half. It gives me a nice clean cut, and you can see that they have just a little bit of softness in the middle, and that's just what we're looking for. So I'm going to remove all of the yolks and put them into another dish so that we can make our stuffing. And you want to gently remove them. You don't want to break your egg, and you might want to make an extra one. I only just made as much as what was going to fill into that little dish, but it probably would have been wiser to have just an extra one just in case. I'm going to add 1.5 tablespoons of mayo to this, and then I'm going to add half a tablespoon of mustard. And that's going to make up the bulk of our seasoning. However, we are going to add a few more things to this. I am just giving it a quick mix right here. I'm going to add a sprinkle of salt. To that, I'm going to add a generous sprinkle of paprika. And then we're going to have a little bit of fresh ground black pepper. And finally, we're adding a sprinkle of cayenne pepper, which gives it a nice little punch of flavor, but just a little sprinkle does not make it spicy at all. So I'm just going to use a fork in order to smooth this out so that it's a nice smooth center. Now you can refrigerate this first so that it's a little bit firmer when you are filling your eggs, but I didn't, and so you can see that it's kind of not holding its shape too much, and that's okay. If you want it more firm, you can pop that in the refrigerator for a little bit. So we're going to have just enough filling for all of these eggs. They're not going to be overfilled, but you definitely can add more filling if you would like. And now I'm going to sprinkle with a little bit of paprika just for a garnish, and then we're going to fill this little egg platter with each of those stuffed eggs. It's looking really beautiful, and they were super delicious, but we don't want to stop there. We want to add a little bit more to this. So I've got my fennel here, and I'm going to add the fennel to all of the eggs on the outside of this dish, and then to the center we're going to add our sweet pea flowers, which we did remove before eating. So this is a really great quick appetizer. It is super delicious and really filling, and it has a lot of flavor. I do hope that you'll try it. Don't forget to check out the blog post that accompanies this video for more information. You can find the link down in the description box below. If you'd like to check out some of our other cooking tutorials, you can tap on the screen right now. That playlist link is also in the description box below. And if you'd like to see what we're eating and what we're cooking on a daily basis, you can find me on Instagram at Pepper and Pine.